Second lecture: Architecture in Ravenna during the Western Roman Empire from Honorius to Odoacer, 402 to 493. The second lecture of the course on late Antique and Byzantine architecture in Ravenna is composed of two parts. In the first part, we will study the architecture of buildings erected in Ravenna and in Classe at the beginning of the 5th century. In the second part, we will analyze the architecture promoted by Galla Placidia, 425 to 437, and Valentinian III, 425 to 455. In 402, due to the increasing pressure of Germanic tribes on the northern borders and to the unstable political situation, Honorius decided to transfer the capital of the Western Roman Empire from Milan to Ravenna, more easily defendable and closer to the port of Classe, one of the most important on the Adriatic Sea. The ancient Classe, from the Latin classis, fleet, was one of the two stable ports of the Roman navy, founded between 35 and 12 BC by Augustus. In late antiquity, the city and port of Classe were an important military settlement, connected to the nearby town of Ravenna by a navigable canal. The elevation of Ravenna to the status of a capital city determined a great increase in the number of places of worship, due both to the increase in population and the fact that Ravenna had become the second most important Italian diocese of the Christian religion after Rome. The bishops of Ravenna, who would take on a political as well as a spiritual role, oversaw the building of many sacred complexes that were among the most important of the Italian peninsula, given both their prestige and their dimensions. Among them, one of the most significant was the new cathedral, founded at the beginning of the 5th century. Originally dedicated to the Holy Resurrection, it soon became known as the Basilica Ursiana, after the name of its founder, the Bishop Ursus. The ancient basilica was demolished in the years 1733 to 1741 in order to build what today is the Cathedral of Ravenna. Therefore, we can reconstruct its original appearance only from documents and drawings. A new baptistry was erected beside the cathedral. It was largely transformed in the mid-5th century by the Bishop Neon, from whom it took its current name, Battistero Neoniano. It is a masonry building with an octagonal plan. The shape is connected to the symbolic value of the number 8 for Christians, and we can find it in many of the most significant Italian baptisteries of late antiquity. The current exterior walls are divided into 3 sections. The lowest, partially underground, has doors and apses. The central one has large arched windows located at the center of each side. The upper one has walls enclosing the dome with blind arches on each side. In the interior, around the large space under the dome, the walls are defined by 2 orders of round arches, one set above the other. On the lower level, the arches frame the apses and the walls. On the upper story, the arches are tripartite with windows in the center flanked by arches decorated with stucco figures of 16 prophets. Particularly significant is the mosaic decoration of the dome, which is divided in 3 registers. The baptism of Christ is portrayed in the central circle, and the band that surrounds it against a dark blue background. There is a procession of apostles led by St. Peter and St. Paul. In the third band, the wall surface is illusionistically dilated by a series of architectural features, composed of exedra-like canopies on columns containing alternatively thrones and altars. After the death of Honorius in 423, a new impetus to the monumental renewal of Ravenna came with the beginning of the imperial regency of his sister Galla Placidia, ruling in place of his son Valentinian III, who became heir to the Western Roman Empire at the age of just 6. The main sacred complex from this age is the Church of Santa Croce, connected to the mausoleum of Galla Placidia, the small cruciform chapel located at the end of the ancient narthex. The 2 buildings were separated in 1602. The design of the mausoleum may have been inspired by the Church of the Apostles in Constantinople, where Galla Placidia's father, Theodosius, was buried. It is built of thick brick walls that may have originally been plastered, and a decoration of blind arches is on all the exterior walls, except the one with the entrance. The central space is covered by a dome supported on pendentives, while the arms of the cross are topped by barrel vaults. The proportions of the parts appear to be stocky, because the original floor of the building was approximately 3 meters under the current level. Inside there are no traces of architectural decorations, and all the surfaces of the dome, the vaults, and the arches are covered by rich mosaics. On the entrados of the dome there is a mosaic representing a deep blue sky full of golden stars, arranged in concentric circles around a golden cross at the center. An iconographic subject called a tetramorph, illustrating the 4 animals of the apocalypse: the winged man, the lion, the calf, and the eagle, which were usually associated with the 4 evangelists, is represented on the pendentives. The arches supporting the dome enclose figures of the apostles, 2 on each side. The buon pastore, good shepherd, together with his sheep, is portrayed in the lunette. Above the entrance, St. Lawrence on the opposite side and deer drinking from a spring in the other 2 lunettes. The rule of Galla Placidia from 426 to 437 and the following reign of her son Valentinian from 437 to 455 represented a golden age for Ravenna. Despite the difficult political and economic situation of the Western Roman Empire. In those years, in fact, the construction of the most famous and important monuments of Ravenna began. Among the sacred buildings erected under the reign of Valentinian III, the most important are the Basilica Apostolorum, present-day San Francesco, and the Basilica Petriana in Classe.